JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, man gunned down in Montego Bay. The St. James police are probing the brazen murder of a man who was gunned down yesterday afternoon in Montego Bay. The deceased has been identified as 34-year-old Oren Williams, also known as Chev, of a Gordon Crescent, Granville, St. James address. Reports are that shortly after he disembarked from a motor vehicle about 2:15 p.m., Williams was pounced upon by men who were lighted from a motor car in the Fairfield area in Montego Bay. Upon the arrival of the police, who were summoned to the scene, Williams's bullet-riddled body was found lying on the ground in a pool of blood. Over 10 9mm spent shells were recovered from the scene by crime scene investigators, the police said. No motive has so far been established for the killing. Westmoreland, Hanover, and St. James account for nearly 200 murders this year. A total of 194 murders have been committed in the three northwestern parishes of St. James, Westmoreland, and Hanover since the start of the year, as Jamaica continues to experience a crime surge. This is 59 more than the 135 murders recorded in the region during the comparable period in 2020, representing a 44% increase over the corresponding period last year. The figures are contained in the Jamaica Constabulary Forces, JCF latest crime statistics. The killings have pushed the overall murder figure for the country up by 8% to 870 murders. This compares to 804 homicides for the comparable period in 2020. The parish of Westmoreland, which has recorded some multiple killings this year, has so far recorded 65 murders. This is 20 more than the 45 on record in 2020, for an increase of 44%. The bloodletting has also continued in St. James, which now has 2 zones of special operation, with 100 murders so far in 2021. This is 28 more than the 72 homicides that were committed there last year, or an increase of 39%. Meanwhile, 29 murders have been committed in the once peaceful parish of Hanover this year. This compares to 18 last year, pushing up the death toll by a worrying 61%. Only Trelawney in the region has seen a decline in murders. 9 murders have been committed there since the start of the year. This is a 36% decrease when compared to the 14 killings in the parish in 2020. 2 motorcyclists killed in separate crashes. A motorcyclist was killed on Mannings Hill Road yesterday and is still hospitalized in critical condition. The crash happened just before midday. The deceased man has been identified as 26-year-old Javon Clark of a Mannings Hill Road address. Reports are that the now deceased was driving his motorcycle when he lost control of the vehicle and it slammed into the back of a parked truck. The motorcycle was removed from the scene by unknown individuals. The police are now searching for the motorbike. Over in Westmoreland, a motorcyclist died on the spot after crashing into the back of a Toyota Corolla station wagon in the community farm on Wednesday morning. He has been identified as 22-year-old Shamar Palmer, otherwise called John, an unemployed man from the community. An alleged eyewitness that the Palmer and the vehicle he crashed into were heading in the same direction. The vehicle reportedly attempted to turn left when Palmer collided with the back, jumped from his bike, and hit a light post. He was a good person. He was kind of no get trouble, shared Palmer's distraught cousin, Juliet Williams. He come in like a my son. Me feel sad, man. And I hear the community him dead. As of August 10, Jamaica recorded 295 fatal crashes since the start of the year. Westmoreland over the period has recorded 42 road deaths from 39 fatal crashes, of which 23 involve motorcyclists. Tropical Storm Fred to bring showers over sections of Jamaica. Tropical Storm Fred is expected to induce a trough across Jamaica. This is the forecast as the storm moves north of Cuba on Thursday through to Friday. The Met Service of Jamaica says showers and thunderstorms could start affecting sections of eastern and the central parishes on Wednesday night. Fred swirled toward the Dominican Republic and Haiti earlier on Wednesday, with forecasters warning that heavy rains could cause dangerous flooding and mudslides. Tropical storm warnings are in effect for sections of the Dominican Republic. According to the National Hurricane Center, tropical storm watches are in effect for southeastern Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos Islands, parts of Haiti, and sections of Cuba. Former St. James councillor Pastor Nollis King has died. Former councillor for the Montego Bay South Division in St. James, Pastor Knowles King, is dead. The clergyman served as councillor for the Montego Bay South East Division, commonly called Rose Heights, for 4 years on a People's National Party ticket. He had won the seat in 2012 after defeating the then councillor Eroy Clark, who later became the Member of Parliament MP for the St. James Central constituency in 2016. King, who had been suffering from issues with his heart for some time now, passed away Wednesday morning in hospital. It is understood that he had been in and out of the hospital in recent times. King was the head of the Rose Heights United Full Gospel Church of God and was instrumental in the formation of the Rose Heights Covenant of Peace in 2010. Councillor for the Granville Division, Michael Troop, said that Pastor King was a close friend of his. Pastor King was a dear friend of mine. He was a peacemaker for the Rose Heights Division. He was a chaplain for the PMP, and there was never a dull moment with him around, stated Troop. He's a hard worker who was always concerned about crime and violence. Everything he spoke about was peace, said Councillor Troop, adding that it would be difficult to replace the man of the cloth. In all his 4 years at the council, he always put people first. And with that in mind, the entire PMP family in St. James and the wider family in the party is now mourning the death of Pastor King, Troop added. Executive member and former chairman of the Jamaica Umbrella Group of Churches, Bishop Conrad Pitkin, who is also the Custos of Montego Bay, expressed his deepest sympathy to the family. Custos Peter King said Pastor King was an outstanding leader in Montego Bay who did quite a lot in the Rose Heights area where he pastored for many years. He said his death is a great loss to his family, church, and the community. Westmoreland residents worried about COVID spike. With news surfacing that the parish now has the country's highest rate of 26% of increasing COVID-19 cases, some Westmoreland residents are becoming increasingly worried. The numbers increased from 2,220 on July 1 to 2,881 up to August 9, according to data from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Me feel worried because me have two pitney and me little boy trouble with asthma, a terrified Janice Taylor, who is also asthmatic, said on Monday. Me afraid of COVID, me no want catch it. Taylor is unwilling to take the vaccine as her children, who are under the 18-year age limit, cannot get the jab as well. Me not take if me pitney them now get it, she said. Westmoreland has been among the parishes hardest hit by the disease in recent weeks. Yesterday, it was announced that the parish's courts, along with those in neighboring St. James, have had to scale back staff after a number of employees contracted the virus. Savlamar resident Kamar Wright was already being vaccinated and is hoping others will follow suit. Is also worried about the high number of cases in the parish. Indeed, it is worrying, as I've noticed that many people have become complacent and or unencumbered by many protocols put in place by the government, lamented the educator. As citizens, we all have a role to play, he reasoned. Secret Spence, who resides in Frome, says she wants to be vaccinated, but is hoping she'll be able to get the one-shot Johnson & Johnson brand, which according to Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, should arrive in Jamaica later this month. Spence's word that Westmoreland will be blamed for the third wave of the virus that now has the country in its grip, as seen by the strain on major hospitals. If it get worse, we can end up like India and America, with them having to fight the pandemic again, shared the word Spence. Keith Wedderburn, who lives in the Belmont section of Westmoreland, said that he is not surprised at the increase in the cases in the parish. It should come as no surprise that we're having these adverse effects. We are reaping multiple times what we sow, he argued. He blames the government for the parish being in the red zone, saying it should have seen the global signs of what was to come. In his view, the parking of too many passengers in taxis, many people's failure to wear masks, and partygoers' non-compliance with safety protocols are factors contributing to the spike. He is unvaccinated, but the surge in cases has not made him feel the urge to change his status. 13 more deaths, 334 new COVID cases in Jamaica. Jamaica recorded 334 new COVID-19 cases and 13 virus-related deaths on Tuesday, according to the latest statistics from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. This pushed the total number of confirmed cases on the island since the outbreak to 55,790, and the confirmed deaths to 1,254. The new cases comprise 204 females and 130 males with ages ranging from 4 months to 92 years. According to the ministry, 82 of the cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew, 14 in Manchester, 36 in St. Catherine, 32 in St. James, 27 in St. Thomas, 25 each in St. Anne and St. Elizabeth, 24 in Clarendon, 22 in Westmoreland, 9 each in Trelawney and Hanover, 2 in Portland, and 1 in St. Mary. Meanwhile, 4 of the latest stats are from Kingston and St. Andrew, including 2 females ages 80 and 84 and 2 males ages 52 and 55. 3 of the victims were females from Clarendon, ages 60, 74 and 88, while 2 females ages 32 and 58 and an 83-year-old male were from St. Catherine. The remaining victims were 2 males, ages 46 and 56 from St. Elizabeth, and a 58-year-old female from Manchester. The ministry further reported 28 new recoveries, which pushed the total recoveries to 47,333. There are 6,836 active cases on the island. In JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.